Good evening. My name's Bobby. First of all, I just want to thank God for giving me the courage. I was born in Mansfield, Ohio, into a dysfunctional family. Mother and father were both abusive alcoholics. I was pulled out of my parents' home at 8 years old. Due to being physically abused. My father sexually abused my sisters, and nothing was done to him about it. I was put into foster care. My foster parents were awesome. They showed me care and love, but I rejected it. I was 13 years old when I started drinking and smoking weed. At 21 years old, I caught my first felony, an armed robbery. I started using cocaine and isolating myself away from everything. I was sent to prison for 15 years. While I was in prison, I was raped. I gave up on life itself. I didn't believe that God wanted anything to do with me. I hated the world, had no love for myself or anyone else. I then went back to prison 4 more times. I've been through many rehabs, and none of them worked for me. I then got into meth, and that's when my life was at its worst. I robbed and did everything I could, no matter what, or who I hurt in the process. 2 years ago, I finally realized I was at my bottom and gave my life over to Jesus fully. Since then, my life has done a complete 180. Then I reached out to Tom Ballard at the LRP, and I finally found the place where I belong. I now feel loved, and I feel like I belong. I now love helping others, and I love myself. I can't wait to see and feel what Jesus has in store for my future. I have friends that love me. I want to especially thank Tom Ballard, Pastor Don, and Nate. They have been the positive in my life I've been searching for. I love y'all, and thanks for letting me share my story. I've never shared this story with anybody. This is the first. That's why it's so emotional. I left a couple things out. I was in Florida. I stole a truck. I ended up in Hardeeville, South Carolina. And about 40 dudes came up with guns, beat me to death, threw me in a ditch, and took the truck. When I crawled out of the ditch and started walking, the first thing I saw was a police officer. He was standing outside his car. And all you could hear was, "Holy shit." And I walked up to him and told him, "I was hurting, I'm tired. Can I please have something to drink?"
How old was you then?
This just happened about 4 years ago.
Wow. You caught charges on that too? Or?
They dropped the charges. The gentleman that I took the truck from didn't want to press charges.
Wow.
While I was in the jail in South Carolina. I had a parole absconding hold here in Michigan. But Michigan wanted me, but they wouldn't extradite me. I had to get back on my own. I was in my underwear. South Carolina Sheriff's Department, I weighed about 140 pounds at that time. They gave me a pair of pants that were size 50, a belt, or I had a piece of rope tied on it. They gave me a shirt that was 5X and a pair of 9 shoes, and I wear 10.5. They bought me 2 train tickets and a bus ticket to get back to Lansing, Michigan.
Wow.
And that's how I came back.
And that helped you find your bearings to get things turned around, right?
Yeah,
Because you's from Coldwater.
I'm from Coldwater. That's where I lived since I was 7. I lived under a bridge here in Battle Creek for 2 years. And I worked a 3rd shift job and used most of my money to help other homeless people that were living down on the river. I haven't had a drink or no drugs in over 2 years now.
Wow. That's amazing. That's a dang near 40 years.
And that's without rehab or anything, just stop.
Wow. That's good. And how'd you hear about Tom and was you in?
I was in the county jail in Coldwater for, I had a charge about 4 years ago and they still held me on it. And one of the guys in there just mentioned his name. And I got a hold of the psych lady, Cindy King, in the jail. And she said, well, I happen to know him. And we called him. And I talked to him on the phone, and about 5 days later, he sent me an acceptance letter. And when I got out of jail, I was out 12 days. I had come to LRP February 12th. I have some friends in Coldwater. They run a Joppa house. It's a Christian halfway house. And I stayed there with them. I've been there before. I've known them for years. To this day, they come up and see me and everything. And on the 12th, he brought me up here. And I've been at the LRP since. Now I have great responsibilities. I'm what you call a deputy there. I help oversee the other residents, make sure everything's run right. They trust me. They take me out places. It's just the trust and everything just means so much. And I'm so tired. And I'm 53 years old. Ain't got and never had nothing. Until now. Now I got more than I can handle.
Yeah. God's good, man.
If it wasn't for the LRP program, I would probably be dead or stuck back out under the bridge again.
Purpose.
I'm so happy with my life the way it is now. It's unbelievable. Like I said, I gave up on God. I didn't think He wanted anything to do with me. And the things that are happening now in my life it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could help somebody else, that's what this was all about for me right here. To help somebody else.